Okay, we're starting again because I don't know what happened. The camera
Just
stopped. It stopped. All right, welcome back, guys. Today we're just going to do a breakdown of the trip we did last year. A few people the other week said yes, they'd be interested. So I've kind of done one. I didn't keep the best of notes.
We'll get through the receipts for the petrol out. So.
Yeah. So I kept the...
talking about petrol, it was $1.80 back then as well.
Yeah, round about.
Yeah, not $2.40.
I kept the receipts long enough to write down what it cost, but I didn't write down how many litres we got, like we had put in, and stuff like that. So yeah. So anyhow, but before we do, John.
Yeah.
I don't think we've ever
introduce ourselves.
No. So if you've been watching our videos, most people have, and they know who we are, but we thought I'd better say I'm Tracie.
I'm Jon, the quiet one. She talks a lot.
That is true. We're called Only Leaving Footprints because I was sitting up late one night with our daughter, and she was saying, "Mum, why don't you put all your travels on YouTube?" And I didn't know a name we could name ourselves, and she said, "Well, why don't you call yourself Only Leaving Footprints?"
Thanks, Jess.
So thanks, Jess. That's what we're named. The trip we did last year, so it's all on our channel on YouTube. We did it over 70 weeks. 7 weeks.
7 weeks.
51 nights, I think it was, altogether. We're doing smaller trips. Well, that was quite a big trip.
It was a big trip, but the rain did muck us up a lot.
It rained a lot.
We had a lot of free camps that we're going to stay at, but
so
always plan for the unexpected. That's all I can say.
Yeah. 7 weeks, 50 days. We're doing smaller trips for now. We're building up for the lap.
For the big one.
And hopefully that's going to be soon.
If everything goes all right, yep.
Yeah, hopefully that's going to be
Plans
soon.
are in motion.
Plans are in motion. Everything's sort of, yeah. We've just got a few things we need to weed out. So we have got a massive trip planned for this year. We're hoping it to be a longer trip. We'll see. So, like Jon said, I had an itinerary set for this trip. I am very much, I'm going to say I'm very much like my daughter, as opposed to she's very much like me. We like to plan everything out step by step.
Have a routine.
Everything. Even when we go overseas, we have a display folder. We have breakdowns on costs and where we can go, what we can see.
Right,
so,
just like, yeah, should be right.
Yeah, Jon's the opposite. However, when we get to a certain place, he'll go, "What did you say we're doing today?" And at least I can say, "You do." You do.
I do.
Anyhow, and then at least I can hand him the folder and say, "Here." But floods, rains, it just mucked us up. So
huge floods out there. Wow. One big, that big detour from Lightning Ridge to, where was it?
We wanted to go from Charlotte's Plains,
Lightning Ridge,
or Nindy Gully down to Lightning Ridge, I think it
we
was.
had to be, what was it, 500 kilometre detour.
Yeah.
Detour.
Big detour.
Anyway.
Anyhow, so we stayed in over 22 places, a mixture of free camps, low cost camps, caravan parks, and a chunk was with family as well.
Yeah.
So we had 2 weddings to attend in that time, so we were on a time frame. There was no room for us to say,
we'll stay here for an extra night, extra 2 nights.
And there was a lot of places that we would have liked to have stayed longer, but we just couldn't, because one of them was like 4 weeks into our trip, one of them was 7 weeks into our trip, or 6 weeks into our trip. I don't know, it worked out that. And then I got injured and we had to come home early, so nothing went according to plan.
I just want to say, when you're exiting the caravan or entering the caravan, hold on to the rails.
We can't stipulate that enough to people after what's happened to me.
Mm-hmm. So we bought our Ford Ranger because the other car just wasn't cutting it for weight and stuff. We picked it up with, what had 14 kilometres on it?
14 kilometres.
14 kilometres on it. And I wanted to at least get it up to 1,500 kilometres before we hooked the van up, but we had 2 weeks before we left. And we tried to get 1,500 kilometres.
John was driving me to work every day and then coming home, then coming to pick me up.
And doing lots of other stuff.
How long does it take me to get to work? Like, it's an hour drive every day.
45 minutes, yeah.
So...
Yeah, so anyway, we hooked the caravan up with 900 kilometres on the car.
Yeah.
And obviously it handled it all right.
And we're towing an essential C-Class caravan, 20.6 foot.
Yeah, so fully loaded, we don't fully load it, but fully loaded is 3 tonne.
So we're going to just quickly go through like the areas, like where we travelled from, the amount of Ks between each place. Stick to the end, because then we're going to do like a breakdown of everything that we spent. I do know how much we spent. I just don't have the breakdown of the petrol, but I know how much we spent on petrol. And we're just going to throw to you guys some of our favourite places to go and some that weren't so favourite.
Yeah.
On our trip.
So we left from Bribie Island and went to Greenmount, where our daughter lives. She's got 100 acres up there, or 102, as she likes to say it. And we stayed there, right, at 2 acres. And we stayed there for 2 nights.
Yeah, we were supposed to only stay 1 night, but we reached her property, and it's a long driveway up to the house and its property.
Oh, that's right. Rained and rained, didn't it?
Rained and rained and
that's right.
rained. It just didn't stop raining.
We probably could have got out, but it would have been hard.
Well, our son-in-law had to go to work. I think it was, he went to work, and he rang up and he said, don't even bother trying to get out. He said, he said, I'm not here in case you get bogged. He said the driveway was all chopped up, so. Yeah. So we stayed there 2 nights. So obviously, that was free. Yeah. So from East Greenmount, we travelled to Chinchilla, and we travelled 199 kilometres between there and there. We were meant to stay at the Chinchilla Weir.
It was flooded. It
was flooded. And go back into our videos to Chinchilla, you will see we've filmed it all. So quick Google search, we found the Chinchilla Tourist Park, which we thought was terrific. It was something like $42 a night, and we stayed for 2 nights there. That was great.
Yeah, which was, unexpected again, because you've just got to plan for the unexpected.
Yeah.
I can't stress that enough.
So just quickly on, I think when we tell you where we'll stay, we'll just give you a quick rundown of that. It was $42 a night, power and water. It had 2 camp kitchens there. It had a dining room, so you could actually have breakfast there, and that started at 5 a.m. in the morning. And you could also have dinner in the dining room. I can't remember how much we one of those nights we decided to have dinner.
$10 a night. It was really cheap.
No, I think it was more than $10.
It was a good price.
It was a good meal. It was a.
There's a lot of workers out there.
Would you class it as a smorgasbord? It was a smorgasbord,
yeah,
wasn't it?
Yeah.
You could go up and just choose what you wanted. They had a set menu, and you could choose, but you could just go back and get what you wanted.
Yeah, but there's a lot of workers in that caravan park, and they just cater for those as well.
Yeah. So we'd recommend Chinchilla Tourist Park. That was great.
Big thumbs up.
Okay.
So the next one was Chinchilla to Roma, and that was 188 kilometres.
And we stayed at the Roma Gun Club.
Oh, yeah, loved it.
Yeah, that was 3 nights, and it was $25 a night. Again, another terrific place. That was for power and water power and water as well.
Yep.
They also had little what do they call it? They had a little bathroom. They had a bathroom attached to the clubhouse, which was close to where we were camping there. Yeah. And then they had other ones
up further.
So yeah, that was all included, $25 a night. It had a dump point there. The clubhouse had a kiosk, and it had a licensed bar. And we did on one of those nights have dinner there, and we had a burger and chips.
Yeah.
And that was $10 each.
Beautiful.
It was really nice. And also, I think it's Thursday nights. Again, any of this you can look back on our videos, but I think it was Thursday nights. Anybody that's staying there can shoot a gun. And I think that was $7 each. It was cheap.
It was a shotgun.
It was a shotgun. I hate guns. John said to me, you'll be fine, because you thought it was going to be.
I thought it was going to be a 22, but yeah, it was a shotgun.
So
It was a bit like when we walked up there and I was doing the shotguns and I thought, oh.
I ended up with a big bruise down here. But look,
we should have realised that because it was a clay.
It was a clay
shooting. Yeah.
In all honesty,
I nearly got all the clays too. I didn't like one.
You did. I didn't get any. Not out of 10. You get 10 shots. I did not get one.
I missed 1 or 2.
Yeah. In all honesty, look, I'll admit I had a bit of fun. Okay.
I never thought I'd see you shoot a gun.
Never. We've been.
I have a shooter's license, so I do it quite a bit, or used to, but yeah.
We've been together for over 30 years, and I don't even touch John's guns. I just don't. No. But I did it. I was proud of myself that I did it.
You did well, really well.
I was absolutely petrified. But righto, from Roma we went to a place called Mitchell. It was only 105 kilometres away.
It's like an hour and a half away.
Yeah, roughly. It wasn't far. We free camped the very first time we ever free camped.
And left the van alone by itself.
And we left there were other campers there. We were still extremely worried. And when we were out.
But we did park under the wrong gum tree.
Oh gosh.
I said to Tracie we shouldn't park under this gum tree. What was it? What was it?
Oh gosh.
One of those gum trees just drop their branches like.
What are they called? It'll come to us. You know the ones we mean. Anyhow.
So and all we did was hear it creak and crack, and it was like we should really move.
Water
but
gum, no.
Spotted, no. Anyway, so yeah, we'll never do that again.
Never.
We were very lucky, but yeah.
We'll say never. So we stayed at Fisherman's Rest. We were going to stay at the Neil Turner Weir, but it didn't appeal to us. Right next door, like you had to come back out on the main road and in again, get your foot down off there so you don't knock it. Sorry, our camera's there and John's got his foot up on the plastic box.
I can't sit still for too long.
So we stayed at Fisherman's Rest. There was one toilet, there was one rusty barbecue, and there was loads of bindies. So many bindies. It was the first place we put our mat out.
We had to throw it away.
And we had to throw it away because
couldn't get them off.
So
it was, yeah.
In Mitchell there are artesian bars there, and the true style for us, they were closed.
Everything was closed. Everything was closed.
Yeah.
I can't believe it. Anyway, the next was Mitchell to Charleville, and that was 195 kilometres and roughly 3 hours.
Yeah.
Roughly. We sit about 100. Well, we sit about in 100 kilometre zone. We sit around about 90 k's, 95 k's, and 100 k zone. Yeah. So at Charleville, we stayed at the Charleville Bush Camp and Cottage. It was $30 a night, and we stayed for 4 nights. And that included power and water, and that was one of the best caravan places I think we'd stayed at.
Yeah.
It was really
like in all our time together.
We stayed at a lot of good ones, but that was I put that on top of it.
We loved it. We loved it. We were going to stay at they were just called the Charleville Bush Park or something like that. They were heaps further out of town.
That was too far out.
And we drove all the way out there and we thought, no, this is too far, and then we found this one.
And that was $38 a night.
Yeah, and this one was
no
$30.
Smoking and no pets.
No, but this one we stayed at.
Yeah, this one, yeah. No smoking, no pets.
$30 a night.
Oh, $30 a night. Oh, okay, I read down the list too far. Oops.
I've got a list there for John to see.
My memory like a see, remember.
We'll just say Charleville Bush Caravan Park and Cottages was $30 a night.
Yeah.
We stayed for 4 nights. You are not allowed to smoke there, and you're not allowed to have pets there. It does have a dump point.
Yes, it did, yes. Drive-through sites.
Yeah, drive-through sites. There was also a dump point in Charleville up near the airport.
And you can actually wash your car there as well.
At Charleville?
No, at the Bush Camp Caravan Parkway.
Oh, it did have a car wash bay, didn't it?
We were looking everywhere to wash the car because it was so dirty.
Because John's baby was only brand new.
It was filthy. And you can't find a car wash place anywhere out in the bush.
No, you know, like those big factory type car wash
And pretty much the day we were leaving, I was talking to a guy and he said, the wash bay is just there.
We'd been driving past it a million times.
It was $10 to wash your car. And anyway, so I didn't get a wash.
But the other thing there too, the internet was, we have a Telstra Nighthawk, and it was crappy there. We had to do a bit of work. Well, I had to do some work, and we had to drive into town and sit near the IGA in the car park so I could work. So that took up a bit of time.
It did.
So anyhow, after Charleville, we went to Charlotte's Plain. If you've never been there, go there.
Go. It's really good.
It's a working cattle and sheep farm. It's got artesian bore water. It is just divine. It was $38 a night.
No power, no water.
power. We did stay for one night.
Should have had 2 nights.
We would, yeah, but we were on this side thing. No dump point. There was a little bush bathroom with a shower toilet in it. So that was 261 kilometres from Charleville.
Yeah. So from there, from Charlotte Plains, we went to St George, and that was 251 kilometres.
So we stayed at Pelican Rest Caravan Park at St George. That was planned. It was $40 a night. We stayed for 2 nights. Power and water, dump point, and there was a pool. Now, when we were in that caravan park, we were talking to our neighbour, and we were telling him how we wanted to go to Nindy Gully for the night, and then we were going to head back down through Ebor to cross the border. And he just said, "You're not going to make it."
Because the floodwaters were so bad. So the floodwaters were that bad, the Mudgees there were just terrible.
Oh, they were shocking.
Yeah.
It felt like they chased us.
Yeah.
They were shocking.
Yeah. Like in Jumanji, you know, with the Mozzie come through the glass. Oh my God.
So anyhow, we thought, oh, what are we going to do? So we were supposed to drive from St George to Nindy Gully for the night, which we did, but we got there at 10 o'clock in the morning and there was nobody there, and the pub wasn't going to open till 4.
No, and someone actually rang them up.
Yeah, there was other caravanners waiting, and we thought that's a long night.
And they said that their chef might not be there either.
That's right, at the time, because, you know, we're going through COVID, we're going through floods.
And it's hard to get workers out in these country towns.
Yeah.
They're screaming out for workers.
So the guy said he wasn't sure if he was going to have a chef for the night. Now, we had no food with us. We were going to eat in the pub for dinner. So we decided that, seeing we couldn't get through Ebor, we'd sit down with this. This is what, it's my little Bible.
Good value, really good value.
And try to figure out which way to go, which made us go out to Moree. So from St George to Moree, we travelled 242 kilometres. We stayed at the Guida Thermal Pools Motel in Carra Park. $36 for the night. Power and water.
The drive-through sites were very squishy.
Yeah, it was a drive-through.
Couldn't even open your awning up.
No, you could not open your awning. It was so squishy. Yeah. But it was beautiful to stay. It had 5 thermal pools.
All different temperatures.
And then up the road there was a pub. We went to the pub for dinner, and then we walked back and went back into thermal pools again. It was really, really nice. So nice and relaxing. So so Moree was not on the itinerary at all.
No. So there was no floods. It wouldn't have done that big detour.
No.
We'd probably save $500 worth of diesel as well.
Because then from Moree we had to, you sort of travel over there, and then you come down and had to go back to get up to Lightning Ridge. So that was another 263 kilometres. So it was like a $500 kilometre detour. But we finally hit Lightning Ridge, and Lightning Ridge was a place that John was not.
No, I didn't really want to go, but I didn't want to leave it. I loved it. I want to go back.
We actually fell in love with Lightning Ridge, or the Ridge, as they call it. We stayed there for 3 nights in Opal Caravan Park. $30 a night.
Yep.
Power, water, pool, dump point.
And you can wash your car there.
And a car wash bay.
Yeah.
And we actually
we washed the caravan too.
Washed that caravan.
Don't tell anybody because it's right down the back.
So look, I've heard there's a lot of nice places to stay in Lightning Ridge.
I would go back there though.
I would go back to Opal. It was just
the
perfect.
Drive-through sites were so roomy. It was just great.
It was just so nice.
Yeah.
It was just, there's not a bit of grass there.
No grass, and to get we've got those screw-in pegs, you know,
for your awning.
For your awnings, and you couldn't even get those in the ground. You actually need like a hammer jack.
And a hammer drill.
Yeah, hammer drill.
And the man in the kiosk, they have a hammer drill.
Well, after we stuck ours in the garden because we couldn't get them in the ground, and we found that out later.
And I wish I kept a copy of what sites we stayed on, because we could tell you if we liked it or not. But I know it was Site 10 at Opal.
And the amenity blocks were right in front of us.
Yeah.
It's perfect.
So that was good.
That was good. Loved Lightning Ridge. Loved it.
Loved it. So for Lightning Ridge, I think we were going to go down to a place called Bogan, or something like that. We were heading down towards Bogan Gate. I think it was good. But plans changed. So from Lightning Ridge, we went to Gilgandra, and in my book, we found.
And that was 289 kilometres from
Lightning Ridge. we stayed at the Railway Hotel just up the side of the pub.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, and
Great.
it felt totally safe. They just asked you to either have some drinks there or dinner, and I was really quite happy not to be cooking, so we went in for dinner, and we weren't that hungry. We just shared a little pizza and some wedges, didn't we?
The food was...
It was cheap.
Love food, pub
Did
camp.
have a drinkies, but
Yeah, love pub camping.
pub
It's
camping,
great. It's
love
great.
it. We're going to do more. Yeah, so we did that, and then because our itinerary had changed, I had to find another place, because by then we're kind of having to get to Sydney for the first wedding.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Do you want me to do the next one, John? Because it's a funny name.
Oh yeah, you read that one out. Yeah, that's a Tamarine. Yeah, you read that one out.
So from Gilgandra we went to the Terramungamine Reserve, and that was near Dubbo. It was only a 60-kilometre drive to get there. No power, no water. There was toilets, and we stayed one night.
That was good.
It was good.
Those were all the cockies were loud, weren't they?
Oh, the cockatoos were
The
crazy.
cockies were great. Yeah, didn't last long though.
But
they
it
were
was
good.
very overgrown. But
Yeah.
I mean, there was so much rain. You kind of think, was the council slack, or was it
No,
because
it
of
was
the
just
rain?
too much rain.
Yeah.
That was good though. That was good.
And then another free camp was great. So, heading on.
Okay, so from there we went to Bathurst, which was another 221 kilometres. And we stayed at the Bathurst Showgrounds. That was $30 a night, and we stayed there for 3 nights.
Yeah. Water, power, dump
Dump
point,
point.
shower, and toilet facilities
Yep.
were there. I was waking up earlier than John, so we were sort of where we were parked was right near the actual showground part.
Yeah.
So I went and watched the trots every morning, the exercising the horses and stuff. So that was really nice.
And I haven't been to Bathurst since I was like 10, and I can't believe how.
No, we went to Bathurst when we were going out together. We missed the train.
Oh well, before that, it's just so. It's
if you
just
want to
grown.
hear that story, watch our
Yeah.
Bathurst Roll Museum.
The town is so big now.
It's huge. Yeah, we got a bit of a funny story.
Yeah, I forgot about that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's in.
That was pre-you anyway.
Yeah, it's in our
The good old days.
Bathurst. Oh, shut up! Shut up! I'm trying to tell them the story. Check out the model train museum. We've got a little funny story when we were dating, and I think we're only just dating. So.
We were 18.
Yeah.
You know what? If I'd murdered you, I'd been out. Like 25 years life, and I'd be out years ago. Free. Anyway, cut that bit out.
Alrighty. From Bathurst,
Straight to Campbelltown.
straight to Campbelltown, out to our parents' retirement village. Now again,
We were going to stay at
Poplar Caravan Park at Camden.
but it was
all planned.
It was flooded out. completely
That
flooded out.
caravan park is 3 levels. So there's the river, then you've got like a camping level,
Yeah, and then
and
the permanents are up higher.
and then you've got a caravan level, and then you've got another level for caravans and all the permanents. The previous year when we went down there, it had not long flooded. But only
The
that
bottom
camping
level,
area.
The bottom level.
However, the floods like when we went, all the permanents on the top level, they were wiped out. Like, people lost everything. It was devastating. And we were in Bathurst, so we were only 2 days away at the time, and they rang and they said, look, I'm sorry, but
Yeah.
you can't come. So we were very lucky that we were able to park the caravan up
At Tracy's mum and dad's retirement village.
yeah, the groundsman there was just so helpful. We had the wedding to be to, like, it was
There's not
just
many
like
there's not actually many caravan parks down
No.
there around Macarthur area, unless you want to go like right out.
like an hour away, and it was like 2 days before the wedding, and we were all stressing out because where were we going to go with our 20-foot caravan, but we were lucky. So we stayed, obviously accommodation was free. We stayed, I think, 6 or 7 nights. We ended up staying extra time. Well, I think we we're only going to be there for 5 nights. We stayed an extra 1 or 2 nights. In there. But then from Campbelltown, we left there. We travelled to Lithgow, and again, this was not planned. I had planned for us to go up through Newcastle to, I can't remember where, lake somewhere. Can't remember where.
Wallace, like what?
No, we stayed at Lake Wallace. It was a lake. I can't remember where. We decided not to go that way because just driving the caravan through all the M4 and everything up to Pennant Hills Road, out along to Gosford and up there. Been there, done that, hate it. We decided we're going to dodge that way out. So we went to Lithgow and we stayed at Lake Wallace. And
that's where I got Lake. That's where I got Lake.
Lake Little. We were going to stay at Lake Little near Newcastle, but we ended up at Lake Wallace,
which was another fantastic one.
Oh, free camp.
Should have stayed 2 nights, easy.
Yep. Again, we're on our way to another wedding. If we and we had
we ran out of gas there, eh?
Yeah, we had caravan park booked further on, so we still were on this time frame. So Lake Wallace at Lithgow.
Oh, big thumbs up.
Fantastic. No power, no water. There was a dump point which was way from us. I think there was a toilet way from us.
A long way away.
So you really need.
You could have parked up closer.
Oh, you could have, but we parked way down. So
we done like 3 laps around that place. Watching the video, because we couldn't find a spot.
Yeah.
Which she still finds it. Okay. So from there we went to from Lithgow to Mudgee, and that was 115 kilometres, and we stayed at the Big 4.
And it poured, and it poured, and it poured.
And we watched this elderly couple next door to us set up their camper trailer in the pouring rain.
And they had a dog with them, and it was just.
And then the next day before we left, they left before us, and it took them. They were in the rain again, packing up. I just felt so sorry for them.
It rained. We couldn't. We had. If you watch us, you know we like cemeteries, and we had probably 2-hour break, and we went out and had a look at Mudgee Cemetery because the history there is amazing.
Even Mudgee's huge now.
But there was things. We went to the Tourist Information Centre. There were things that would have been great for us to go. A lot of wineries which we wouldn't have gone to, but so many other things. It rained, so
yeah.
we did something. So from Mudgee we went to Gunnedah.
And that was 251 kilometres.
We stayed at the CMCA RV park. It was $15 for non-members. I believe it's something like $7
to remember, yeah. And that was good too.
I feel like we stayed for 2 nights, but I think we only stayed one.
No, one. That's where we got the best fish and chips in that place.
Oh, Gunnedah. If you're ever in Gunnedah, go to Chip Inn. The best fish and chips.
Yeah.
Gunnedah CMCA RV park had no power and water. It did have potable water, and you had to go to a tap and fill it. And that. It did have a dump point on site, and a custodian. He's in his caravan.
Yeah, you just park wherever you want, and he just comes and collects your money, doesn't he? Yeah.
No, when we got there, he met us at the gate.
Oh, you paid, did you? Okay.
Yeah, he met us at the gate. Oh. But great. Look, $15 a night. I'd definitely stay there again. It was really good.
When we go full time, we will join up with that.
Yeah, CMCA RV park. If anyone of you guys are in that, tell us if it's worth it.
Yeah.
Because there's not a lot of CMCA parks around.
Tell us in the comments. I've always wanted to do that.
But in the comments.
We put it up here. Sorry.
There's not a lot of them around, but apparently they're getting more and more. So if you're a member of the CMCA RV place, let us know. Down below.
So next we went from Gunnedah to Tamworth, and that was 87 kilometres. And we stayed at another fantastic caravan park. It was City Lights Caravan Park. And that was $30 a night, and we stayed for 5 nights.
We loved Tamworth too. Hey?
Tamworth was great. That caravan park, it would have been up. Yeah.
We were meant to stay at Big 4. Big story about that. You'll see it in one of our Tamworth videos if you wanted to know that. But they were just would never stay there ever. Big 4 Tamworth, never ever. Don't go there.
No.
So City Lights Caravan Park. It was like probably 5 or 10 minutes out of town.
Yeah.
Perfect.
No dump point though, but the dump point was only like 5 minutes in the car.
1 kilometre away.
Yeah.
At the Lions Park.
Yeah.
So from Tamworth we went to Ebor. So again, our itinerary had to change, and we ended up at Ebor. We stayed at Ebor for 2 nights. We were meant to stay in just the free camp at Ebor,
but it was flooded out.
We drove in there, and it was really long. Remember the grass
was long. It was muddy.
It was muddy, long grass. It was horrible, and we had we looked on Wiki Camps for that one and all the pictures, and we looked in the Camps Australia book, and it looked terrific. Well, it wasn't terrific when we went.
No, it would have been if they'd looked after it, because it just was raining too much. They couldn't mow it all.
Because it would have been a place where you stayed and you walked to the waterfalls, you came back to your caravan and you didn't do anything. There's nothing at Ebor.
Nothing.
Except for the waterfalls.
There's
and
a
the
post
pub.
office, and that's it, I think, wasn't
Yeah.
it?
So, anyhow, we stayed at the Ebor Hotel Motel. I think it was $25 or $30 a night. No power water, but they did have hot showers you could use and toilets. We did.
It was very misty and cold. That's where she slept out of the caravan.
Yeah. So that is where I hurt my foot. I did that on the first night we were there. So obviously the second night I didn't cook dinner and we went into the pub, and the publican was so amazing. He heard that I'd fallen. He looked totally amazing. This all just changed our whole trip from there.
It really did.
Really much,
yeah.
Didn't it?
You couldn't walk on your foot, so.
I did walk I hobbled to the waterfall. I was not going to miss out. So from Ebor we went to a place. So this is where we had nowhere to go. We were going to go from Ebor down to Dorrigo and stay at a low-cost camp at Dorrigo.
But that was pretty much a washout as well.
It rained, and it rained, and it rained. We'd heard about the beautiful waterfalls in Dorrigo and the beautiful town, and we were all excited to stay there, and it was a washout.
Yeah.
So we thought, what are we going to do? We drove into this low-cost camp, and it was so sloshy, and we went, not going to stay. So back onto Wiki Camps, we ended up finding a rest stop, Rose something I think it was called, can't remember. Drove there, it was sort of most of the way down Waterfall Way. Drove there.
I drove past today.
And it looked really nice, and again, free camp, washout. What are we going to do?
We nearly actually got bogged in there.
We're getting closer to Coffs Harbour. We knew that school holidays, I think, had started by then. Where were we going to stay? Got onto this place called, this suburb called Karongi, and we stayed at the Valley Stay Camp.
Oh, again, perfect.
$10 per person per
great,
night.
Great.
No power, no water. You can have a campfire. He had a tennis court you could use. He had a toilet you could use.
One toilet, one shower, wasn't it?
I don't think there was a shower. I don't think there was a shower.
Okay.
It had a camp kitchen. Oh no, it had an outdoor cold shower.
Okay.
It was just an outdoor thing. Yeah, it was just an outdoor cold shower. You hooked the hose up if you wanted it on. So, we stayed there 2 nights, and it was great because I couldn't walk, so
It was really good.
that was good.
Then from there, it pretty much went. I'd say shit, because we headed to the coast from there.
Yeah, but I've got to say, this is where we started to really, really like Wiki Camps. In the Camp Australia book with low-cost camping. The places you can stay in, like people's properties, amazing. I think I would avoid caravan parks for as much as I could from now on.
Especially on the coast.
Yeah.
Because the next one was a nightmare.
Did I say from Ebor to Karongi it was 123 kilometres?
Yeah. So next we went to
We went from
Karongi to Sapphire Beach, which was only 19 kilometres, and that was.
So that Sapphire Beach is Coffs Harbour.
Yeah, Coffs Harbour, which is so busy, and that was $77.50 a night. And we stayed 4 nights, and that pretty much blew our budget right out.
That was our most expensive place to stay. 4 nights.
Jam packed in so
So
tight.
we won't go into detail. If you want to know, we've done a whole video on Sapphire Beach Holiday Park. Check it out. Would not recommend the place.
Yeah.
Had power, water, dump point, all that.
Yeah, we need to get on because it's going for too long.
Yeah. From Sapphire Beach then we went to Byron Bay because we had a wedding at Byron Bay. It was 224 kilometres. We stayed at the Discovery Park in Byron Bay. We stayed there for 3 nights. It's $64 a night. Power, water, dump point.
It's quite nice.
Shower, toilet, massive big water park.
Yeah, yeah.
Really, really good.
Yeah.
And then from Byron Bay, we travelled back to Bribie Island, 228 kilometres, back to our own bed. So in total, we travelled over that 51 nights, we travelled 5,339 kilometres.
Oh, my brand new car.
Yeah. So by then, we clocked over 6,000 something.
Yeah, yeah.
I thought we'd just do a quick, like, not a rundown, but just some pointers to tell you what we liked or didn't like quickly before we go on to the final breakdown of money.
What cost?
My favourite free camp was Lake Wallace at Lithgow.
I have to agree with that. Yeah,
really nice.
Mine too. That was good.
The most expensive groceries was in Charleville.
Yeah.
I went into, I think it was the IGA, and a slab of I think it was like 24 lemonades.
Yeah.
Schweppes lemonade was $45. I took a photo and sent it out to John. I could not believe it. $45. The most expensive caravan place was, like I said, Sapphire Beach in Coss Harbour, and I'd never pay that money to ever go there again.
No.
My most favourite touristy thing to do in everything that we did, and again, if you've been following us, we did episodes on everywhere we went.
We did a lot. Yeah.
We did a lot. We really showed you. My most favourite thing in that whole trip was seeing the moon in Charleville. We went to that observatory. I was like a kid in a candy store. Best thing I think ever. What do you reckon? What was your favourite thing?
Mine was Lightning Ridge, just going down to see the underground mines.
Which was a huge thing for him. John is petrified of heights, and he's very uncomfortable, claustrophobic.
Yeah.
So going in those mines was a huge thing for you too, hey?
Mm-hmm.
So, the most educational thing I think in the whole time we've gone was in Roma. We went to the big rig in Roma. Again, we have a full video on the big rig.
Well, yeah.
But we learned about the gas and water industry, and
amazing. I just thought it was so much different than what it is, but yeah.
The most challenging road, even though it wasn't challenging, it was Waterfall Way.
Waterfall Way, yeah.
It wasn't challenging technically.
No, it was very doable, but you were shitting yourself the whole way.
I was.
It was misty.
There was rain. There was lane closures. You know, and it's downhill. So and windy. Yeah. Very, very windy. Something I did and I never want to do again is fire the gun. I don't think there's something you did that never wanted to do.
No, I'll do it all again.
Best takeaway that we had. We didn't have a lot of takeaway, mind you, but the best takeaway?
A Chinese place at
Dragon Palace at Tamworth. Best Chinese. Now, I have a favourite Chinese place in Ingleburn where we lived when we were first married called Chow Pine. My favourite place, but I tell you what, this place in Tamworth, the Dragon Palace, was good. But also for takeaway would be Chip-In.
Oh, Chip-In. Oh my God, that was good.
Real old-fashioned chips, scallops, fish, beautiful. Favourite caravan park that I will tell you there was 3 that we both agree on. The Charleville one, the Lightning Ridge one, and the Tamworth one.
Yep, 100% agree with those 3.
Do you think you could choose your favourite? Because I can't.
No. Probably Charleville.
Favourite. Beautiful. The best tip we have and that we learnt was talk to everyone, talk to the locals, and always go to the visitor information centre. The people mostly women, there are some men that work there, but the workers in the visitor information centres, they bend over backwards to help you, don't they? They're so helpful, and you find out things that you didn't know, places to avoid, places to see. Yeah. So without further ado, we'll do
So have you made it this far?
Yeah,
thanks
thank
guys.
you. Look, we just thought it was very difficult. We thought we'd give a quick rundown, but...
See? She talks a lot, see?
Oh, shut up. Okay, we're going to do the breakdown of the money. I'm just going to grab my notepad.
Yeah.
Right, I'm going to do the talking in this.
Yeah, I'm just going to sit here and just...
And make smart-ass comments, probably.
Never.
All right, so 50 days. 50 days. For fuel, over 50 days, we spent $1,619.91. I thought that was pretty good.
Yeah.
Again, like John said,
I'm a tight ass.
no, that's not what I meant to say. Was what John said was fuel was like 40 cents
Cheaper than it is now. Yeah.
You know, it hasn't even been 12 months and it's so much cheaper. Groceries for that time, we spent $861.86. Now, you had a point you wanted to make about groceries. Oh, for fuck's sake. So I'll go again. John had something he wanted to say about groceries.
Don't make fun of me all the time. That's
He'd
my
forgotten.
job.
I had to bloody
No, I
remind him. We've
didn't.
talked
No, I
about it all
didn't. No.
morning.
So what we've found is in the caravan, you just really don't need to buy as much groceries as you do when you live in a house. You don't need like cleaning stuff and just generally just buy less.
Well, when you
And
think
you don't
about
do
it,
as much impulse buying because you don't have the room to put most stuff as well.
that's true. When you think about it, like, so that was 7 weeks. It was $861 for 7 weeks. When we're at home, I can easily go to Woolies and spend $250 a hit.
Oh, yeah, you can have 3 bags these days.
You know, so what we found is we drank a lot of water.
A lot of water.
We bought bottled water a lot. But John was saying today, and I'm going to say it because you've forgotten to say it, was you go and you buy what you need. Simple. You just buy, you know, you've got 5 meals, 5 dinners to cook, 5 lunches, and you just pretty much.
You don't buy what's on special, like five cans of like curry powder, just for instance.
And
if it's
you
on
know
special.
what? He's having a go at me now because when things are on special, I might buy 2 or 3. But do you know what?
I'm just stretching my fingers. What?
He's made me forget what I was going to say. No, oh God, I don't know. You don't buy as much groceries as you do when you're at home. I know some people say you do, but you don't, because you're not buying all those cleaning products.
Yeah.
You're not, you know. And John was saying also your space. Eating out. So over that 7 and a bit week period, we spent $285.45 eating out.
Yep.
Touristy things. So that is our like our tours. Now in Charleville, we pretty much did a tour everywhere.
Yeah.
And in Lightning Ridge,
We did a lot of tours, which we normally wouldn't do.
Normally wouldn't do. So touristy thing, we spent $289, which again with the amount we did was pretty good. Accommodation, we spent $1,396.34.
But most of that was because it rained a lot and we couldn't use our free camping. And when we got to the coast, they'll triple the price.
Yeah.
So if you take off the Byron Bay one and Coffs Harbour, it would drop it down to pretty much nothing.
Yeah. We had to spend $100 in a pharmacy. Now.
Oh, yeah.
A lesson to be learned in pharmacies. We won't go into the medication John has, but he has some medications that he needs authority scripts for. In Queensland, he gets repeats for them. We take it to the chemist, they give us his medication and the repeat back for next time. We hit New South Wales, went into the pharmacy 2 different times for 2 different medications. They wanted to keep the receipt. They wanted to keep the repeat. They said in New South Wales, the pharmacies keep the repeat. And I said to them, but we're travellers, we're from Queensland. They said it doesn't matter. We had to have, the script had to have a special number on it that's,
otherwise they wouldn't prescribe it.
Your doctor has to apply for this special number put on it, otherwise we couldn't get it. So we got a little bit in a tight spot for prescriptions. We spent $100.
He was a dodgy pharmacist, that guy. He did it. He shouldn't have done it, but he did it for us. We won't mention who it was.
We went to 2 different pharmacies and the guys, he gave it to us because I'm like, my husband can't be without his medication. So, miscellaneous. We spent $1,471 on stuff.
Yeah, but that was because we went to 2 weddings as well.
We went to weddings, you know, clothes. I had my hair done. We stayed with my parents and spent a lot of money there, groceries, and I bought my mum presents and, you know.
It's all included in that price.
We saw our great nephews and I always spend some money on them when I see them, so, you know, so probably we wouldn't spend that. And the one thing that I didn't mention is our breakdown does not include our expenses from home. I never thought of figuring that out to put it in, like our insurances, our regos and
No
all
insurance, yeah. This is just what it costs.
that. This is just,
No regos, no insurances, nothing.
this is just purely what we spent on this
Yeah.
trip. It averaged out to be $753 a week, so we can do a lot better.
You can do a lot better because, as I said, those caravan parks on the coast were a lot more. So it probably would have been about $500 to $600 a week if we take them off.
Yeah.
And plus all the stuff you spent that you should have spent.
I should have spent, like, my mum needed a new handbag. I bought a new handbag. She wanted some perfume. I bought a perfume. So yeah. So there you go, guys. Yes, a bit of a long-winded video, but we did want to break down our trip because, our videos went over such a long time. We thought we'd give, a quick rundown.
Yeah. So I reckon on average it would have been about $500 a week if we stuck with the free camping, if it didn't rain, and we didn't buy all the stuff for the wedding and things like that.
Yeah, we would have done heaps of it.
Yeah.
Look, as we mentioned, we did pop a video out for New Year. As we mentioned in that, we have big plans for this year, massive plans. If they don't work out, we have smaller plans.
No, I don't.
Yeah.
I'm just being silly.
But we do have things now. Also, I mentioned, and you'd know because we've mentioned millions of times, I damaged my foot. So we have been home for a while now. I've had treatment after treatment on my foot. I've got to have surgery. So we've only been doing a few weekends away. Things have been.
I've even had surgery on my toe. So
Yeah, John had surgery on his toe. So. We did a few things for the caravan, ready for our bigger trip, and so look, thanks for watching. Stick with us. We're going to show you lots of other stuff.
Yeah, we're going to do lots of stuff. And again, thanks for making it this far.
Thanks for, I know, I talk a lot. And if you don't mind, if you watch our videos, it's only like 25% of you that are actually subscribed. We'd love it if you hit that subscribe button. Give us a thumbs up and hit the notification bell for when it notifies you.
Every time we release a new video, it'll send you a message. So.
It's free to do that. It just means you guys are clicking
free.
a button, but it helps the algorithm. It helps YouTube promote our videos. All that jazz that it does, and I
just want to thank you guys for watching us.
Yeah.
Really thank you guys for watching us.
I know.
Sometimes I watch them, I think, oh my God.
John keeps going, oh, that was crap. And I said, well, look how many views we're getting and comments. But he goes,
thanks very much, guys.
Well, look, really appreciate it.
Really appreciate it. We really do.
We've done this for my parents and our grandchildren to look back on, but it's so great that you guys are getting benefit out of it as well.
Yeah,
so.
As I said, if you see us, come and talk to us or send us messages. We're always quite willing to talk and have a chat.
Yeah, we love it. Well,
yeah.
I love having a chat.
I'm the quiet one, remember. I still talk, but if this was my video, it would have been over in 5 minutes, but 3 hours later, we're still going.
See you later.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.